They confirmed today they recently conducted their own unsuccessful search. Scott Watson was convicted of their murder, but their bodies have never been found. Hannah Vulture reports.
A Navy sonar search for Ben Smart and Olivia Hope in August last year identified two distinct objects on the ocean floor near the entrance to Tory Channel, but no divers or cameras were sent down.
It's my personal belief that the police should have immediately acted on the information regarding the identification and possible recovery of the mystery objects that were located in Cook Strait on the seabed by the Navy.
The officer in charge of the case said there was a high probability the objects could have been Ben or Olivia, but a further search has never been approved.
We need to express at this time our extreme disappointment at the lack of an earlier search by a remote-operated vessel.
The families recently conducted their own private search, but it was unsuccessful. They now want police and the Navy to revisit the area they originally surveyed.
There will not be closure until there is some certainty as to the whereabouts of Olivia and Ben.
And the Smart and Hope families have an unlikely ally.
I'm all for it, really. I do think that an official search is the way to go. I'd hate there to be an open slather approach to what Mr Pope seems to regard as a crime scene.
Chris Watson says every search that turns up nothing strengthens his son's case. Police wouldn't talk on camera today, but in a statement said,
"Police await more detailed advice on the results of the private search. Police acknowledge the family's public comments and will continue to liaise with them."
Until then, just what the sonar found in August last year remains a mystery. Hannah Vulture, One News.
About 400 people gathered today to farewell a Kiwi air ace with an international reputation. Sir Kenneth Hare died earlier this month when his Vampire jet crashed at a British air show. Lisa Owen reports.
Sir Kenneth Hare loved the high life. Today, friends and family remembered a man whose passion for planes made him a legend.
We gather to hear how he soared with the angels.
He told his Auckland schoolmates he was off to become a fighter pilot with the Royal Air Force in Britain.
I said something like, "Good luck, Ken, that's terrific," and that, in retrospect, seems barely adequate for what followed.
What followed was an outstanding career. The twice-knighted Kiwi played key roles in both the Falklands War and later in the Gulf War.
Sir Kenneth William Hare.
70 people. The destruction is worst around the cities of Moquegua and Arequipa. The BBC's Claire Marshall reports.
As the hours pass after Peru's worst earthquake in 30 years, the full extent of the damage to the region around the city of Arequipa is becoming apparent. The violent tremors lasted just 1 minute, but vast swathes of this Andean region have been reduced to rubble. Aid agencies have moved swiftly to send emergency supplies, with temperatures dropping well below freezing at night. A primary aim is to establish some type of shelter for those whose homes have been destroyed. Interim President Valentin Paniagua has been visiting the area to assess the devastation. He says that authorities are doing their best to get help to the victims. When the earthquake struck, there was panic as streets and houses started collapsing. In the city of Arequipa itself, the most striking damage has been to the city's cathedral. One of its ornate towers now lies in rubble in the square below.
The cathedral here in Arequipa is one of Peru's top tourist destinations. Now the people around me look up in disbelief at the damage done. Like other parts of this devastated region, it'll take years to rebuild.
The total number of dead is still not yet known. As hundreds of people recover in hospital, the rest set about trying to rebuild their lives.
And that death toll is expected to rise as emergency services search less accessible mountainous areas.
Across the Pacific, the Philippines' most active volcano is putting on a spectacular show. The Mayon volcano blew rocks the size of trucks and huge clouds of ash billowing into the sky. A river of lava is flowing from the crater. Thousands of villagers have had to flee their homes. One man escaping the volcano on a bicycle was run over by a truck, but no other casualties have been reported.
Well, just ahead on One News, a message from the top over board turmoil at New Zealand Post.
They're living the good life. why our biggest city wants more people like these.
We have a few neighbours calling us Tom and Barbara, and that, you know, they give us sideways glances all the time.
Later in sport, Queensland welcomes back one of its favourite...
A little ridge of high pressure kept the country fine. Here's the next front moving up the South Island. Not a major system, but that'll bring some overnight rain as it moves north. A wee ridge in behind that, and another frontal system way back in the South Tasman Sea. First one's gone tomorrow. The second one brushes over the North Island early tomorrow morning. Then here comes the ridge, clearing the weather over much of the country. The next frontal system pushes up a nor'wester and some rain developing in the southwest corner. So how about that? Second front in the trilogy, we see it pushing the clouds into Fiordland with some rain there, and also for Stewart Island. Nor'wester picks up over the southern part of the island. Bit of drizzle for Westland. Fine frosty weather in much of the east for a start. Look for the rain pushing up in the south Westland into the afternoon, and Southland gets some scattered falls into the evening. Meantime, the overnight fronts are gone burger in the morning. Just a few showers remaining in western parts of the North Island with a southwesterly flow, tending quite fresh northerly for Wellington. But look at the afternoon. Gas up and have a cup of tea in Pew Pew. Nice day through there. Look for isolated showers developing in the west with some cloud later on in the day. Okay, in town, first up, put the jug on because look, a bit frosty in Timaru, very cold, and the clouds come through, and there's the late rain developing in Invercargill that we alluded to earlier. A little bit of frost here for Blenheim and Ashburton. Coasters, there's the cloud with patchy drizzle developing in the northerly flow. This stuff here for Paraparaumu and Waikanae, disappearing. The sun's out in the afternoon. There's a northerly breeze here. Nelson, magnificent day. The odd cloud in our western centres produces a morning shower or two. That's gone. Look at the afternoon. Hawke's Bay looking good all day. Also further up the coast, Gisborne looking fine all day. Southwesterly breeze takes the showers through and out of these other towns, Taupo, Rotorua, and there's the same pattern. Southwesterly breeze backing off, the showers drying up, and out comes the sun. Little smidgen of frost, Dunedin. And then some prefrontal cloud as the northeasterly picks up, and that's a sort of smoky high cloud developing into the afternoon. A wee touch of ice for Christchurch, and the nor'easter kicks in. No worries into the afternoon, but there's the veil of high cloud coming over later. Early birds in Wellington should get the odd shower, but a great day for the city. Northerly up to about 40k, a bit of a nip in the air tonight. The nocturnal rain showers will thin out over Hamilton tomorrow morning. Should be a nice afternoon. Then the cloud comes in later on with the nor'wester easing later. Similar for Auckland, showers dry up. 30k sou'wester, eases in the evening, and a few clouds develop out west, out for the westies. Now, Wednesday, it all turns to custard because in comes the next frontal system, but it dries up later on in the southern hinterland. Only a few showers getting into Gisborne. Thursday, eastern areas clear up in both islands. A little bit of rain on the west coast. Look for a late cold snap and a southerly bringing snow to low levels up the eastern side of the South Island. If you've ever been to Te Anau, you'd have been impressed with its magnificent alpine scenery and clean air. But here's a new one for you. The 55 People School is holding a Swede festival tomorrow. You know, those big round turnipy cattle fodder vegetable type of things. Well, the kids will be making Swede heads and Swede lanterns and playing Swede hockey and Swede rugby. There'll be a little bit of rain about, but what the heck, you're going to have fun. The fax was entitled Hi Sweetie Pie, so I had to include it. Have a great day. See you later.
Very apt. Thank you, Jim. Well, finally, a sequel to last night's story about the big bird on the loose from a British zoo. Foster the Vulture's escapade has ended almost a week after avoiding capture. And it was his appetite that eventually got the better of him. His handler was able to lure him in with a chicken carcass.
I thought he was going to wriggle out of my grip, but, you know, I'm pleased, and we can put him back in his aviary with all of his other vultures, you know, so he'll be happy at home again.
Zookeepers say Foster did not mean to escape, but was caught in a warm air current and just drifted away. As we are too.
Absolutely, yeah. Late editions here at 10:35. Good night.
Good night.